ever ask yourself what a 19-year-old model and poet drinks in a week? No, of course you don't. No one does. No one ever asks that ever. Ever. No one cares. This is just another like fluffy piece of throwaway nonsense that you might find on the Metro online. The internet-based version of the free Metro newspaper that you may have seen lying around on buses. Well, here they are trying to do stuff. This is what they do. This is something that they do. It's very interesting. Trust me. This is gonna change your world. They've got this feature. Each week we get people to anonymously tell us about their drinking habits as part of our series Spill It. Do you see what they did there? Isn't that good? That's fun, isn't it? We're talking to people all over the UK and abroad. Oh, and abroad. UK and abroad. Across the world. So that's the world about how much they really drink. Not how much they tell their doctor they drink, or a rough guesstimate, but the unvarnished boozy truth. Ooh, this is so revealing. Ooh, what dizzy Ooh, you still interested? This week we've got a 19-year-old model and poet from London who we've called Scarlett. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. I think Scarlett is probably someone that just reposts poetry on Instagram and has photos of her ass on Instagram. That's what can qualify you as a poet and a model these days, by the way. So that's who Scarlett probably is. Anyway, let's see how much booze Scarlett knocks into her face, shall we? I'm coming back from a retreat in France, where I spent 2 weeks recovering after my first year university exams. Now, let's pause for a thought there. A retreat in France. 2 weeks recovering from my first year university exams. Right. Okay. Who are you? How many people do you know that go on retreats after university and that call themselves a model and a poet? Do you hang out with people on a regular basis that do that kind of thing? Do you go on a retreat after you do your exams in France? A retreat? Do you go on retreats after doing your exams? Is that something you do often? Okay, have a couple of glasses of red wine on the plane. They're free, so it would be rude not to. It's a very short flight, Scarlett. 2 glasses of red wine. My boyfriend picks me up from the airport and takes me straight to dinner. I'd rather have gone home to change, but I don't want to hurt his feelings. Scarlett would have rather gone home to change, but didn't want to hurt his feelings. Because she cares. She cares. Your boyfriend picked you up from the airport, yeah? And took you straight to dinner. Isn't that saying? Who's there going, I'm going to pick up my baby from the airport. Oh, she must be hungry. She'd like to go out for a meal. I'll book her a table at a nice place. I've missed her. She's been on her silly retreat for 2 weeks. But, you know, Scarlett does weird shit. But I like her doing weird shit. I love her so much. Oh, I can't wait to feel the embrace of her. And she's going, yeah, well, I'd rather go home to change first. But, you know, I'm doing it so I won't hurt your feelings. Okay, Scarlett. I see you, Scarlett. Don't think I fucking don't see you, right? We share a bottle of wine at the restaurant, then head back to his place. He prefers staying there as it's a lot bigger than my flat. Alright, don't be jelly. Don't be jelly. There's a lot of resentment about you, Scarlett. You seem resentful towards this wonderful man who seems to be doing very well for himself. He has a bigger flat. Maybe he has a job, and you pretend you have a job on Instagram. I sleep until around 1 p.m. as I need a lot of sleep to recharge. I find that different people need different amounts, and I'm just someone who really benefits from 12 hours of sleep. Not to I'm sorry. Let's not break this character that I'm trying to put across here. You know. Oh, Scarlett, you know, we weren't going to judge you for sleeping for 12 hours. No one would call you a lazy bitch for sleeping for 12 hours till fucking 1 p.m. Some people need 12 hours, so half of the day that God has given you, if you believe in such a thing, or the universe, you want to spend half of that in bed? we're not judging. We weren't going to judge you. Well, we are going to judge you. You didn't even need to tell us about the 12 hours of sleep that you had. I sleep around 1 p.m. in your boyfriend's flat. What's your boyfriend doing? Is he sleeping for 12 hours too, or is he just letting you there to sprawl out, dribbling on his fucking sheets? We're hosting a dinner party at my boyfriend's place. You're 19. Why are you hosting dinner parties at 19? Unless he's like really much older. Is he much older than you? Because that's fine. That's cool. I'm way much older than my girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with that. It's cool, man. Or are you both of the same sort of age and you're hosting dinner parties? Is he close to your age and hosting dinner parties? I think it's a bit strange that you're 19 and you're hosting dinner parties. Unless he is like in his 30s. And that's fine. I spend the afternoon preparing the food. I want to be writing, but he doesn't cook, so it's essential that I make the food. Oh, Scarlett, he doesn't cook. He's having it, so he has a dinner party. Was it your idea to have the dinner party, Scarlett? Are you 19? I mean, you do go on retreats at 19. As I'm saying, you are a middle-aged woman at 19. You want to be writing your poetry. That's right. Maybe you got an app that turns gobbledygook into poetry. I don't know. Want to be writing. But he doesn't cook, so it's essential that I make the food. We even cook meat for his friends despite being a vegetarian because I love him. Isn't that wonderful, Scarlett? You do so much for him. You even cook meat and you're a vegetarian for his friends that are coming around to see him. I said, well, they're coming to his flat for his dinner party, but you cook the food. That's cool. You're doing your bit. You did sleep for 12 hours. He picked you up from the airport, took you for dinner, which you begrudgingly went to because you'd rather have gone home. His friends are a lot older. As is he. I knew it. All right, Scarlett, so you're not having dinner parties at 19. He's an older fella. But you resent him. Why do you resent this older man? So I feel like I have to impress them. You don't need to impress them, Scarlett. Just show them your Instagram poetry, and they're probably like going, oh my God, you are like Rudyard Kipling or something. I have 3 glasses of wine over dinner and 1 glass of champagne to start because I don't want to be drunk and embarrass him. You really are not. Scarlett, you're 19. You're very insecure. There's nothing but insecure. This isn't really an insight into what you drink. This is an insight into the mind of an insecure 19-year-old girl who goes on retreats in France. And you have an older boyfriend. But it's good to have an older man. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. You can ask the missus. It's well, she won't fucking tell you. She hates people. But it's because we treat the girls good, you know. That's what it is. And if you get it's nothing better than having your missus drunk as fucking embarrassing you anyway. It's good fun. I love it. I deliberately get women drunk so they embarrass me. Scarlett, calm down. My boyfriend has time with his kids today. Oh, he gets, of course. He's got children. He's that kind of older man. He's got kids. I have no baggage. Me, it's just me you get. And if there are any kids running around, I ain't met them. But they don't like me to join them as they're judgmental of the relationship. Scarlett, this is bad. This is just getting worse. You know, you could have kept. Can we just stick to what this is about? It's called Spill It. Just talk about your drinking habits. I head back to the flat. They're judgmental about a relationship. That means they must be like old enough to like have those sort of opinions. How old is this dude? I haven't been home for a couple of weeks, so it's not in a great state. I spend the day cleaning it and trying to cleanse the vibe so that it's a more positive space. Oh, Scarlett, you silly little fluff. You're trying to cleanse it to a state of positivity. I say, Scarlett, you are broken. I go to yoga in the evening at a studio near my flat and get an early night. We didn't drink Sunday. Sunday's the best day for drinking. You just start as soon as you wake up and you just get absolutely smushed all day. That's the British way. Scarlett, are you even British? I want to write, but I'm not having any success. I thought the retreat would help clear the stress from exams, which stopped me from feeling creative, but I still feel blocked. Well, Scarlett, I've got news for you. I'm creative every day, and I have to live an adult life where I do adult things. So, you know, maybe you're not cut out for this Instagram poetry life. I am still assuming you're an Instagram poet, by the way, just so you know. Unable to get anywhere. And why do they have to label as a poet? That's what she says. No, you're a student, yeah? No, I'm a poet and a model. No, you're a fucking student. Will you shut up, Scarlett? Anyway, unable to get any words down, I walk for a few hours around London just trying to feel connected. I get home. Well, there's one thing about walking around London is you don't feel any connection to anything. It's a cold, harsh place. I get home feeling a little more inspired and write for an hour. You did an hour of writing, Scarlett. Well done, good for you. No alcohol. I am worried that my drinking may be part of the problem. Scarlett, you've literally, in this whole piece, all you've talked about is moaned on about your relationship with your wonderful boyfriend. And you've drunk fuck all. Right, come on. Half of Britain is laughing at you now. On Tuesdays, I volunteer, which always makes me feel better and clearer. I have a fight with my boyfriend because he won't come to my flat because apparently it is too small. He doesn't like the area. I cave and go to him. It's too small. Well, you did say you're trying to cleanse... Well, you did leave it for 2 weeks in a shit pit, apparently, Scarlett. So maybe it's a polite way of saying, yeah, it's too small. Maybe it stinks and there's crap everywhere. I don't know. He cooks steak. He knows I don't eat meat, but because it's a recent development, he ignores it. No, you should. He'll respect what you eat. You respect what he eats. That's a two-way street. That's what it's called, Scarlett. You'll learn about that as you get less selfish. I eat the salad and drink some red wine. He wants to have sex, but I say no. He asks if it's because of the steak. I say no. But I mean yes. Well, of course, you're a woman. That's exactly what you're going to say. Say no when you mean yes. And he should know that's what you meant anyway. He probably did. Is it because of the steak? You wouldn't have sex with him because he ate some steak. You get him to brush his teeth. Really, what is wrong with you? Do you want a good rooting or not? You're 19. You should be ravenous. Oh, actually, you get more dirty as you get older when you're a woman, isn't it? It's boys that are nice. Ah, okay, whatever, man. Anyway, you should still want it. I wake up early and go to yoga, then come back to the flat. Boyfriend has gone to work and doesn't realise that I don't have keys. Most of my stuff is in the flat, including my house keys. Well, that's a big faux pas on your part too. I asked the doorman to let me in and he confuses me for boyfriend's daughter. I find this extremely funny, but I have a feeling that he won't. In the evening, I meet up with my girlfriends at a vegan restaurant in central London. There's nowhere more exciting in London than a vegan restaurant. Did you know that? I went to a crack den once, full of whores, and I was like, do you know what? This isn't nearly as exhilarating as a vegan restaurant. I told him all that straight, and I walked out in disgust about how unexhilarating it was. I don't drink and feel better for it. Thursday, I spent the whole day worrying about going to boyfriend's work event in the evening. He invited me, but then kept saying how I had to be on best behaviour. That's right, well, don't show him up in public, Scarlett. You're 19, you go on retreats, you can't write your poetry, you're an idiot, you need to behave yourself. As a result, I am nervous and drink a lot and end up being too drunk. I have 4 glasses of champagne, I think. Boyfriend is not pleased. Oh, Scarlett, what did you do? Friday, you had 4 glasses of champagne and you were drunk. You're 19, you're a student, and that's how much it takes you to get drunk. What has happened to my country? Wake up in the spare room at boyfriend's flat. Oh, we put you in the spare room. Oh, feeling guilty and knowing that there's going to be an argument. In the end, I sneak out before he wakes up and go back to my place. I know that's pathetic, but I can't face an hangover and an argument. Well, Scarlett and her boyfriend have since broken up. You fucking think? Oh, well, wonderful. If that isn't a great insight into the mind of a 19-year-old student, I don't know what is. Going on your retreat, drinking only 3 glasses of champagne. Well, there you go. Wasn't that was way more insightful and amusing than you thought it ever could be, isn't it? Isn't that wonderful? I know it's probably because all the things that I add to the mix that makes it way more exciting and brilliant. But Scarlett, I have to say, you don't really drink that much and you still make an idiot of yourself, so you need to reevaluate what you're doing and maybe just admit that you're just a student, okay? Just that's all I ask.